here with Billy Cody. He's an alumni of Tell City. He was the former pole vault record holder of 14.6. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, what year you graduated, and what track meant to you and why you did it?
I graduated in 1995, and that was my main pole vaulting was my main sport. I played football and I swam in high school also, and I loved playing football and whatnot. But track was my favorite thing. You know, ever since junior high, I really got into it. I excelled at it in junior high and then into high school, and got with some really good coaches and stuff outside of Bob Bussey was my coach at the time. And he was an excellent track coach. I mean, he's had a lot of conferences and sectional championships and stuff. But outside that, Marty Rogie, which is a former alumni, I think he graduated in 1970s, late 70s. He also was a pole vaulter. He's went on from there to coach, I think Harrison High School, and then he went to Vincennes and coached for a couple of years there, Vincennes University. And but I probably wouldn't have been as successful without him helping me along the way. He was a big, huge help with my pole vaulting and stuff. But and my dad and mom were really they drove me, and you know, on the weekends my dad would, the weather was good, we'd go over, you know, in junior high and practice on the pits, you know, and practice. I probably outworked, I wasn't the best athlete in the world, but I probably outworked everybody in Southern Indiana with just work ethic and hard work and stuff. I don't have the height that Mason has and the speed. I'm short and slow, so I had a little bit of help with my family and good coaches. So.
Mm-hmm. So you said a lot of work went into that record. We're going to try and compare that with what Mason has done. So what have you done in the off seasons and throughout the season after practice or during practice to help you attain a record that stood for 30 plus years, or about 30 years exactly?
Exactly 30, yeah.
Yeah.
I had my family. We searched for a pole vault camp, and actually at the first meet last year, a pole vault, like a camp coach, was at that meet, and he asked me to come there because he said that he saw a lot of potential. I mean, that was at that point I was only vaulting 12.6, so we kind of got in touch, and I started going to his house every single Sunday, working for 3 and 4 hours at a practice. That's a long pole vault practice. So we tried to have a lot of work and a lot of consistency, and that led my season last year to 14 feet and a broken wrist. So. And then over the summer, after my wrist got better, I started vaulting again with him. And then I started an indoor track season this winter that I only got 14 feet indoors because, you know, I'm not doing any running. I'm only doing track. I'm only doing the pole vault. So there's not much running to do. So it's not near as speedy. Mm-hmm. So then now we're in the outdoor season, try to do as much off the mat workouts that I can do, and then along with as many form jumps that I can do to try and just get better every jump.
Mm-hmm. So like Mason mentioned, he had some wrist problems last year that had his season end prematurely. He only went to regional. It was regional week, right? Day before regionals, he got hurt. Did you have any adversity that you had to overcome, Billy?
You know, I never did get hurt at all pole vaulting. I had shin splints like crazy all through track. I always dealt with shin splints and dealt with that, but other than that, I never did get hurt pole vaulting, or I have back issues now probably from it, but I don't have, I never had any injuries or anything like that. My biggest downfall was, you know, just keeping focused, you know, on doing, you know, practicing and things of that nature. The off season, I couldn't pole vault because I was involved in other sports, but I didn't lift a lot of weights and stuff for football and stuff like that to strengthen up for football because I was afraid that I was going to get too not that I was going to get massive or anything like that, but I was afraid that I was, going to put on too much weight and that was going to hurt me in the pole vault, because it was really important. And that's all I did, is I just pole vaulted, because I wasn't fast enough to sprint or anything like that. Even long jump or high jump, you got to really be quick and be able to take off really good. And I just concentrated just on pole vaulting, but I never did have any injuries or anything like that. I may have had some sprained ankles, some slight sprains or stuff like that, but never any injuries or anything to keep me from succeeding or anything like that. No.
As far as postseason is concerned, where's maybe preferably track, but was there any other far postseason run that you had? Like how far to the postseason you made for track?
How far did I? What was your question? How far did I go beyond in track or what?
Yeah, like regional, state.
Oh, okay. My sophomore year, I went to state in pole vaulting. I jumped. I think I jumped 13.6 as a sophomore. And my junior year, I jumped the same height. 13.6 was as high as I wasn't really super focused my junior year, and I kind of kicked myself for not. But my senior year, I was all in trying to do the best I could, and I jumped a foot higher than I did, and actually had many jumps over 14.9 and close to 15 my senior year. I went to regional and regional and state my senior year also. So my sophomore year I went to state, and my senior year I went to state.
Mm-hmm. So Mason, you've never made the state, and as a senior, what do you think, or what do you hope this record propels you towards in the postseason? State medal? Where do you kind of envision yourself?
I'm hoping to medal at state this year, and beyond that, right now I'm for the qualifying height for nationals, the Adidas Classic Nationals. Right now.
That's awesome. So one last question. So you broke this record in high school.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure records are like this for any sport, regardless of how accomplished the record is. How much does a record mean to you post high school? So you graduate, now it's just the name on the wall and the memory. How much does that record mean to you, and what does it mean to you now that Mason's broken it?
Well, for years, everybody, that's the only thing that I was known for in Tell City. Tell City's a small town, and you got the pole vault record. You the pole vault guy or the whatever, and it's kind of bragging rights, I guess. Steve Smith, I've never met him. I didn't have the opportunity like Mason has to get a hold of me and talk to me, but Steve Smith held the record at 14 feet 1/2 inch, I think. And then after that, I broke the record and everything, and it was for 30 years. I didn't think anybody would come along to break it, because 14.6 is, and once you go above 14 feet, it's not easy to get to 14 feet, but at 14 feet, that's not that difficult, but beyond that, it gets exponentially harder to get higher and higher. And then I also went to Vincennes afterwards and got to compete against Division I schools and stuff, and just got throttled. And it kind of lets you know how much of an athlete you are in comparison to what's out there in the real world. In Southern Indiana, 14 feet and 14.6 is really good. But, when you get out of there and go compete with top level Purdue and IU, guys like that, you kind of get humbled and then start worrying about your career and instead of sports after that. But I guess what I'm saying, after I graduated and everything, high school with the record, I really didn't look back on it. I was proud that I accomplished that, but it wasn't there's many more things that I wanted to accomplish in life that was more important than that. But it was really neat that I got the opportunity to be able to break the record. But I'm really happy that Mason, I went to as many meets as I could last year, and I'm really glad that he got the record. I was hoping he better jump 15 feet and put like a stamp on it that holds for another 50 years. If he jumps 15 feet or 15.6, I don't know that it'll ever get broken. So that's what you need to shoot for, Mason, for sure.
That's the goal.
So, Mason, you're going to Breast University. We don't know when the signing is yet. Do you know?
Not sure.
So, signing's coming soon. He's going to Breast University, right? In Owensboro. Do you have any words of wisdom? This is the last question. Any words of wisdom towards people that are aiming to break records in the future? Anything to keep them motivated or help them pursue that goal?
Determination and patience.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't going to get nowhere if you don't have patience and then work ethic and getting there.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's a really good statement. And I'd like to thank you coming on, Billy. I think it's a great interview. That kind of wraps it up. It was awesome speaking with you. I love learning more about past alumnus of Tell City. I think the history is awesome. So thank you for coming on.
Yeah, no problem. Appreciate it.